without describing the shoe, obviously, I mean, can you name a person's that you may have worked on that has never seen the light of day, but it's probably the coolest one?
I swear to God, if you say Kobe, I'm gonna pass out.
So I had a pair of Kobe's. Yeah, you're gonna pass out with this.
I put this on everything.
Party people,
I love this.
it's your boy
My sweats and my clothes. I thought I told you this is my world, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, party people, in the place to be. I am geeked.
I'm so excited right now.
It's your boy Mazi. Listen, I just realized the wordplay was all that kind of strung together.
Yeah, man.
I'm alright, man.
Hey, man. You rap?
I dabble. I'm starting to write a little
Used
bit.
to?
Used to. You know what I mean?
sure.
And DK. Hell no, nothing. It's no story for another day. My guy.
Yes, sir.
What's happening?
I am here. I am present. I don't got my sketches on because I felt a little embarrassed. You know? They were beat up. You know, you seen them.
Yeah, I've seen them.
They're comfortable, but they're beat up.
Today would have been
as they say, cooked. Right? Is that the term?
That's the term these days. They're cooked. They're
all right,
fried.
I'm out of my element, just so y'all know.
They're fried.
There you go.
Wifey in the house, what's happening? The peace sign, as we doing these days. But the guy to the right of me, though, a legend. Customizer, sneaker collector,
Artist,
creative in general. Jake Danklefs, right? Did I say that? Mm-hmm. I get her. Okay.
Yeah.
AKA Mr. Dank in the house.
Dude, it's about damn time.
I was banging Lil Flip, riding dirty in the parking lot, sitting sideways, still tipping, know I'm talking about. Smoke a whole pine, coming down on the south side. Balls gon' swing, switching lanes with the top.
And I can hear LeBron in the background going like, hey, tell him I want some custom Air Max 90s. With all our shoes, we're always trying to do something that we've never done before on like every pair we do now. We're not here to sell them sneakers. We're here to sell them a story that they can tell through sneakers.
Exactly.
People will say they want to get into sneakers for this like individuality, you know, but then they buy the same shoe that everybody else has.
Exactly.
You know, I've been waiting for this, so I'm excited.
I'm excited too, man.
Yeah.
I get to really talk this shoe game stuff.
Yeah,
with one of the most creative minds
I appreciate
in this,
that.
man, for sure.
I definitely appreciate that.
So how you been, man?
Good, dude. We've been busier than hell. It's crazy out there.
I believe it.
You know,
people that you've been doing stuff for. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot. Yeah. I mean, we do a lot of shoes. I guess the main ones that everybody really knows us doing work as would be like LeBron, D Wade, Jay-Z, Diddy, Trinidad, Bad Bunny, Matthew McConaughey, Burt Kreischer.
Yeah,
he's my boy.
And I was gonna say, Burt definitely dropped you on Full Size Run in the last episode that I seen with him.
Yeah.
This is a handmade shoe.
Who made it?
Jake Danklefs.
Hey, let's go!
Yeah, he makes all my shoes for my specials. I'm very particular, and I love these shoes. I think he does great work. Boom.
Fire.
Yeah.
The blue ones?
Yeah.
Incredible.
He loves them. I gave him 2, so he actually flew me out to Billings, Montana to deliver those to him.
Yeah.
Which was like in the middle of like a full-on blizzard. It was crazy when it happened. Yeah, but like it was a really cool experience, and I've been doing shoes for Burt for a long time now, but like flying out to Billings to deliver these shoes to him, it was out like right near Yellowstone, where they film all that.
Right.
Yeah. He wanted 2 because he wanted to have options for his special.
His special, right.
And now he's worn both pairs for different events and different, special things, and did a custom hat for him.
Right, I
recently.
seen that. Yeah.
Custom New Era fit. He's really into fitteds. Yeah, we got a lot of things cooking with him. But
that's dope.
I could go. I'm missing a lot of people. It's been, we've been full time since 2012.
Yeah.
And my first celebrity / like athlete client was LeBron.
Wow.
So, I mean,
I was gonna say, how did you get on LeBron's radar? Like that's one thing to be one of a dope customizer, but then to be like LeBron sees your work and be like, hey, I want him to do my shit.
Yeah. So let's go a little further back.
Okay.
I guess, so for the people that don't know, born and raised in San Antonio.
Talk about it.
Yeah. And my mom was an artist. My brother, 10 years older than me, had way cooler shoes than I did. So I took a liking to shoes, and then obviously with my mom being an artist, like she had me on art at an early age, and I just ended up combining the two worlds at a very early age, like 5, 6 years old. I was drawing shoes, making my own colorways, doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing anything on shoes, but I was doing paper, and I would draw and design my own shoes, draw existing shoes.
Yeah.
Mom would even take them to work with her and make Xerox copies. And like I'd draw shoes, she'd make like 100 copies, bring them home, and that'd be my coloring book.
Wow.
And then she would take the good ones and she'd send them to one Bowerman Drive, Beaverton, Oregon, or whatever. She'd send them to Nike. I never heard anything back, but she would do that, for jokes.
Look at my baby. You know
exactly.
For sure.
He nice.
Yeah, and as time went on, the shoes were always just in and out of my life.
Yeah.
And then I started doing portraits of shoes, like paintings.
Yeah.
And people started taking, this is before social media, so this was on web forums like Nike Talk, Soul Collector, and people started taking a liking on these web forums and started purchasing my paintings. And at that time I was a full-time energy efficiency consultant. I had a good job. Finally, I was like, man, I'm making portraits of people's favorite shoes on canvas.
Right.
If I can paint a shoe, like an image of a shoe, like a portrait of a shoe, why can't I use the shoe as the canvas?
Exactly.
So then I started doing that, I started trying to figure out ways to, make the paint stay. And there was no YouTube or anything out there showing you how to do it and showing you what products to use, tutorials and all that like there is now.
Right.
There was nothing out there. I just kind of developed my own style and my own way of doing things. And then after that, it got to the point where I was pretty busy, making some decent money.
Yeah.
And then in 2012, my dad was diagnosed with colon cancer. And at that point, the day he got diagnosed, the day after that, I quit my job.
Oh, wow.
To focus on spend time with him.
For sure.
And then also focus on the shoes. Went a couple months and got cold feet.
Oh, wow.
I actually ended up getting a job selling cremations.
Oh, wow.
For a month and a half.
Wow. That's crazy.
It wasn't a fun job.
I believe it.
Because it was pre-need cremation. So I was going to people's houses that were like dying.
Right.
And they were like, yeah, I want to be cremated. I want to pay for it before my family has to. Like it was not fun.
That's dark. That's
for a sales job. It was dark, but
if you don't mind me asking, just really quick, just to get like your mind state for that month, man. Like how would you describe it? Like
I was desperate. My parents were having to pay my rent. I jumped in thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be able to go from 0 to 100 like that. Like I was busy.
Sure.
But I wasn't booked out busy,
Right.
And like, I was making money, but I wasn't making what I was at my full-time job. And I figured, well, if I had an extra 50 hours a week, then I would. Well, it doesn't just happen like that.
Right.
And this is like right when Instagram first came out, Just so I was like, I had cold feet. I was like, I need income,
right.
And I'd met a guy at Boysville, the thrift store.
Yeah.
Digging through records. This is when I was like heavy into collecting records. He goes by Stevie Ray Vinyl is his like name on like Discogs.
Gotcha.
And he's a big record dealer here in town. But his day job at the time was he managed the Neptune Society on Bandera Road, which is a pre-need cremation service.
Gotcha.
So like he offered me a job one day. I told him I was struggling or whatever, and he offered me a job. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, all right, I've got to make this sneaker thing work,
For sure.
And it wasn't even just a couple months later that, this gentleman from Miami hit me up. And he was like, I'm traveling with the Heat. I'm like, okay, well, at least I figured at least I'm going to do is maybe sell this guy a pair of shoes. I pick him up from the airport, and I end up taking him, showing him around San Antonio a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's when he told me that he was a yacht broker and that a lot of his clients are like basketball players and stuff, and he's boys with LeBron. So that night, I dropped him off, And that night they went out to eat. They went to Maggiano's in the Rim.
Right.
And it was him, Ray Allen, Mike Miller, and LeBron. And they were all sitting there, and I get a call, and he's like, you know, these Cuban guys. He's like, hey, bro, I'm showing your Instagram, bro, to LeBron. He loves your shit. And I can hear LeBron in the background going like, hey, tell him I want some custom Air Max 90s. And I was like, bet. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know? And then I heard him go, no. Tell it, because LeBron's like looking at my Instagram.
And like at the live, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's
and I had
going
like
through
500 followers at that time. So
Yeah.
he goes, no, tell him that when we beat the Spurs, I want a LeBron 10 to commemorate my second championship. And I was like, well.
I mean, I don't love that, but I love that.
Well, and that's kind of what I said. I was like, well, tell him I'm a Spurs fan.
There you go.
And that if he beats the Spurs, it's on the house. But if the Spurs beat him, he's going to buy a custom from me. And he tells him, and I just hear LeBron go, bet.
Spoiler alert.
James catches, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound box. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang!
He didn't forget.
Yeah.
His management hit me up, got my address. Package shows up. It's a LeBron 10 PE.
Yeah.
And I did my thing on it. And that was when I was like on like a table like that, like a Rubbermaid like dinner tray table.
Yeah.
You know? That was what I was doing my work on. It was that. I had a bucket of paint, you know, a little cup with little brushes, you know. That was all I had.
Yeah.
At that time. I'm sitting there watching Fresh Prince on a dinner tray table making LeBron shoes.
That's crazy.
You know? And like it was crazy. And I ended up getting our boy Fred. Do you know Fred? Fred Padua, T21D on IG, sneaker legend.
Gotcha.
Here in town. I told him I was doing the shoes, and he was like, "Dude, I got this guy that makes really dope like woodwork and stuff." And I went over to this guy's house to get him to make a wooden box that I could ship him in. You know.
Okay.
We had it lasered like earned, not given, and like the lion on the top, and like all this stuff. It was crazy. The hinges were like $250 on this box. It was an insane box that we had made. When we got done with it, the guy was like, "And who's this for?" This is an old dude. You know, who was doing it. I was like, "Who's this for?" I said, "LeBron James." He's like, "Who's that?"
What?
Yeah. Dude had no idea. I was like, he's like, today's like Michael Jordan? Like, and he goes, "Oh, she's kind of a big deal." I was like, "Yeah. He's
a huge deal."
Yeah. I was like, but we ended up putting him in that. It was like lined with velvet. Over the summer, his manager, you know, delivered them to him. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of people over at the apartment. We're all drinking and watching Kids.
Yeah.
The movie Kids.
The movie Kids, right.
And it was my favorite movie.
Yeah.
And we're watching Kids, and my phone is on the charger in the bedroom, and I just hear it start going off. You know, it's going off. My phone starts ringing. It's crazy. I'm like ignoring it. Finally, I'm like, what in the world? Like, it's got to be an emergency.
Right.
I go over there, and my IG is just bing, 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 just going off.
Yeah.
And then a buddy of mine, Shabby from Virginia, he calls. He's like, dude, LeBron shouted you out. Like, go look. I get on there, and sure enough, on a real post. Like,
yeah.
This was before stories and stuff. You know, granted, at that time, he probably had like 4 million followers, and he's got 80 million, 100 million, 100 million. I don't know what he's got now, but yeah, that was crazy. That's kind of how that all started. And then after that, like, it's all, I think the biggest thing for how we've gotten successful is I've always been prepared to take advantage of the opportunities that have come to us. So if you're not prepared to take advantage of an opportunity, then that opportunity is probably not going to come back. That's the biggest thing I think with us that me has worked out with us is we're really lucky getting all these opportunities, but we know how to take advantage of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that from the jump.
Sure.
Yeah, from the jump.
I mean, I think there's a saying, right? Like, there's no luck. It's more opportunity meets preparation.
Yes.
Right.
100%.
And I mean, if you could just you telling that story right now, man. Could you describe like what it was like the feeling?
The feeling. That's the initial reaction,
right?
Like,
going from what you basically said was desperation, pretty much, to like, you know, to what happened after LeBron basically. You know.
All of it was kind of just kind of going through the motion.
Yeah.
Because, like, it didn't really hit until he posted. Because, like, until then, you're like, you ain't going to get him. You ain't going to get him. This is too good to be true.
It's LeBron James. Right?
Yeah, it's
Like,
ain't gonna get him. He's not going to get him. He's not going to get him. Right? These people are messing with me. It's not going to actually happen. Even as I'm making the shoes, I'm delivering them, him calling me and saying, like, they're there. Like, still, it's like, okay, how do I know he actually got
him? Right.
You know, and, like, when he posted them, that's when it was like,
it hit for you.
But then even then, after that, like, a couple weeks later, it was Media Day. So on Media Day, you're familiar with Media Day?
Yeah.
On Media Day,
that's where the sneakers come out.
That's when the next shoe comes out. So, like, for him, he'd have been unveiling LeBron 11. Well, Ramos is one of his in his management. He hits me up and he's like, dude, it's early in the morning. I'm still asleep. And he's like, he calls, and I'm like, if he's calling, something's crazy happening. So he's like, hey, dude, I don't want to, like, promise you anything, but today is Media Day. We just dropped off LeBron. When he walked out to the car, he was carrying your shoes.
Oh, shit.
He's supposed to unveil the LeBron 11, like, per, like, Nike's request today, because it's, like, the most covered day.
Right.
And he's a champion. You know, like, this is huge. So I'm like, he's like, but just turn on Fox Sports, ESPN. Any news outlet is going to be covering Media Day right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. I got up, I showered, sat in front of the TV, started flipping through all the channels. And sure enough, there's Media Day. There's LeBron wearing my shoes.
Wow.
I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this is nuts. I don't know. A month later, I get a DM from somebody. They're like, hey, dude, I work for Sports Illustrated. I just saw, I've been a follower of yours for a long time, and I just saw the print for the next next month's cover for Sports Illustrated Kids.
Yeah.
And it's LeBron, and he's wearing your shoes on the cover.
Wow.
I'm like,
come on, man.
I'm like, at that time, I was like on like a recumbent bike, you know, and I'm like reading, I'm like, what? Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
And like since then, it's just like, it's always something, you know, like it's always something.
But despite not having, like you said, I guess to someone else adequate tools or resources, you were ready.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to do something.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I didn't, at that point, I made a name for myself from having hardly any tools. All I had was paint and paintbrush, you know. I didn't have like sewing and graphics and, you know, lasering and, you know, all this stuff. Like, yeah, so I just like, and everything I did on that shoe I'd never done before.
Yeah.
You know, and like that's also a big thing too, is that with all our shoes, we're always trying to do something that we've never done before on like every pair we do now.
Yeah.
We've done so many pairs now that it's like, you know, it gets a little difficult, but like we find our way. You know?
No, definitely. I mean, seeing some of the work that you've done to where, and I don't want to put this as a flex or nothing like that, but I remember when I sent my shoes to you, my Pumas, and obviously I'm in line. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there thinking, all right, cool, I'm about to get mine next. You know what I'm saying? Then obviously you see post Bad Bunnies. I'm like, oh, that's what I'm waiting behind.
Yeah.
And I seen I think it was the Jordan. I think it was
the Dunk.
Was it a Dunk that you did?
Yeah, it was a Dunk. Yeah, for
at
Bad
the time?
Bunny.
Yeah.
So that was before he got with Adidas.
Right. That was before he got with Adidas. Okay, so it was a Dunk. Okay.
Yeah, it was a Dunk. That was right when when Virgil dropped the off-white Dunks.
Right.
And they had like the extra lace
crossing
crossing over. That was all actually paid for by Corona.
Okay.
Yeah, so Corona sponsored his tour that year.
Makes sense.
And so they wanted something to give to him.
Yeah.
When he came to San Antonio.
And now you kind of got ties with Corona too now, huh?
We've even before that, we've been working with them for like 5-6 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're always doing stuff with them. Corona, Modelo, Pacifico.
For sure.
Constellation brands.
Right. So I imagine, you know, after the LeBron thing, you were kind of like, all right, so now I'm geared up for whoever hits my line now.
To this day, it's I'm like, get up and I walk into the studio thinking like, am I really doing this? Like,
yeah,
it's still hard to believe. We're blessed. Yeah,
for sure.
So
For sure.
Originally, obviously you kind of set upon this journey on your own, but I hear you say we and we. You want to talk about the crew real quick? Because it's DANK,
DANK
right?
and Co.
DANK and Co. Yeah. So for the longest time, it was DANK Customs, and it was just myself. And then I realized that there was more to it. Like JD initially was a huge help because he would help do the posts. He would help, take the pictures. He'd help with ideas. He'd help tape shoes. All this stuff. Like unpaid. We were just sitting there kicking it, watching TV or whatever, and he'd be help working.
Yeah.
And then other people. And my buddy Brandon. Like I'd get a big order of multiple shoes coming in. And I'd go, my buddy Brandon at that point was managing like a fitness equipment business across from North Star. And he had a back room and he had rarely, visitors would come in. It'd be 5 or 10 people would come in a day, to come in and buy fitness equipment. Mm-hmm. So most of the day he's just chilling. So we would go to the back room and he'd help me on shoes all day.
Oh, wow.
I'd get up early, take everything there, work in his back room and have him help all day, and JD would go over there and help.
Yeah.
So like that's when I started realizing like, all my friends, were the DANK&Co. And then it became not just friends, but, then Phil came into my life. Phil's my right-hand man, Phil Macias.
Yeah.
And honestly, he came to me through a buddy of mine, Chris Buckley, a friend I grew up with. And him and Phil were like best friends.
Yeah.
Living together. And Phil was doing granite work at the time, working hard, working like a dog, dude. Like
hard labor,
for
sure.
And doing like like in like hotels and stuff like that. Like before the AC's installed, hard labor. And Buck was like, "Hey, you'd be good help. If you need some help, Phil would be a good help. And he's down to work.
Yeah.
He's kind of on call. So like, I was like, yeah. I was like, this dude can lay granite.
He could do anything.
He can do anything.
Facts,
like
for sure.
He didn't have any like he may have had like some artistic ability in the past, but like he didn't have like an art background.
Gotcha.
He didn't have sewing, painting, sneakers, all that. Like, but he just had like work ethic, big time. And like, yeah, he's been down since day one. And then Roland, this is a kind of crazy situation too. Roland Salinas is our other guy.
Okay.
That's with us. I get DMs constantly with people wanting to do what we do. Hey, I'm 15 and I customize shoes too. Can I work for you? And like at this point, we got to be I can't go backwards and train you.
Right.
You got to know what you're doing.
You got to be nice for sure.
You got to be nice with it. With that, and they're all, how can I learn? What did you do? Can you explain how to do this, that, and the third? And like, I don't take my time to do that with anybody.
Right.
I didn't have it. Nobody taught me.
Right.
YouTube wasn't. You got YouTube.
That's a fact.
I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have anything just to drive. And like now you got YouTube. You shouldn't have any questions.
Right.
On how they're telling you. Hundreds of channels on how to do custom shoes now.
For sure.
There's no shortage of information. But the biggest thing that for me, how I learned was from mistakes. Just doing something and learning from it.
Right.
If it worked, cool, I'll do that again. If it didn't, cool, don't do that. So like that's what I tell everybody that sends me a DM that wants to know how to do something. Just get dirty. That's what I had to do. Learn from mistakes.
Right.
And Roland was one of those guys. And I didn't know he was local, but he was like, I would like to learn how to do this, that, and the third. I'm like, told him to get dirty, like all this stuff. A couple weeks later, he writes me back, and he made a Jordan 1 from scratch.
Oh, wow.
He sent me pics. Wasn't that great. It was one of them good from far, but far from good kind of things.
Gotcha.
But he did it,
Exactly.
Like he had never done it before and he did it, And then he did another one and it was better. And I was like, hey, man, that's dope. He's like, dude, I would love to meet you. Like, I'll take you out to lunch or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what happened, but we ended up meeting up. And then, yeah, like he just stayed with us. He just stayed cooking, learning on his own, you know, and kind of shadowing, picking up things. And then now here he is, you know. And he's,
along with the team.
Yeah, he's doing
That's
killer
dope.
work. Yeah.
That's good. Shout out to the team, man.
Yeah.
That's an incredible story because of the fact of, like you said, coming from where you are to now having a team with you.
Yeah.
Doing what y'all love to do, you know what I mean? And especially, you know, doing it for a living. It's incredible.
Yeah. And we turned down a lot of business now. We turned down a lot.
See, listen.
We have to. Because
I want to get there. I want to get there.
We've been booked out around a year in advance for 10 years straight now. So like,
Damn.
That's a blessing.
we have to.
Yeah.
You know? And like the other thing is also these corporate jobs that we're doing.
Yeah.
They're high paying corporate jobs that come in and they need that stuff when they need it, and then if you don't do it, they're gonna find somebody else.
Somebody else, right.
You know, so
that's an opportunity missed.
Yeah.
And for sure. Yeah. Like you were saying.
And that's those, again, being ready and just knowing how to attack it and all that. But like being able to do those jobs, then that company will run sneakers go viral.
Right.
It's a slam dunk. We're not here to sell them sneakers. We're here to sell them a story that they can tell through sneakers.
Exactly.
And that's where they get their dollars, because if we can tell a story and connect with people, then their brand's going to connect with people.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter who it is or what it is. That's always going to be the case.
Yeah.
And it's going to work. You know, how good it works will just depend on what kind of money they throw at it.
Right.
And and how they document it, who they get involved, you know, like the QT thing. That would have been great alone, but then they got Drewski involved.
Right.
You know, and like shot through the roof. You know, it was great. So like it's all, I guess what I'm trying to get at is these companies will come back too, you know, and want more. But also what I've learned, and this could go for anybody in any kind of business where you're doing this kind of thing. If that corporation can hire you direct, but what happens more than most is that company hires a marketing company.
Right.
And that marketing company hires us. So once you get in with a marketing company, then that marketing company is going to want to use you on all their
Right.
on all their clientele.
Right.
All these other corporations that they work with. And not only that, but we've learned that with some of these marketing companies, one person will leave and go to another marketing company, you know, or they'll have friends at another marketing company, and that, hey, you know anybody that does sneakers? I got your guy.
Right.
You know, like, so like growing in that like marketing company is huge.
Yeah.
You know, and also now we can afford to have representation too. So we're under like a Justin Jong agency is out of Austin. So we're under like our own like, you know, like kind of a influencer agency, you know, if you will.
That's dope.
You know, so they represent a lot of comedians and social media people, a lot of like, you know, YouTubers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They represent us. You know, we had 3 conference calls all day today. It was just conference. I didn't touch a shoe today. Not even one shoe. I didn't touch one shoe. Wow. I handled taxes and conference calls all day until I finished it in the parking lot here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. So, so I guess with that being said, starting a business that you have with the taxes and everything like that now, it's a different ball game now.
It's huge.
Because you just literally went from creating art on shoes to literally making a legit business to where now you got to deal with the back end stuff with the taxes,
the boring stuff,
the boring stuff, as they say. Yeah. Thank you, Skrills.
I hate that stuff. I hate it.
And great question, Mazi, because I was gonna ask, like, I mean, obviously, man, you come off as an uber creative person. Like, does that hinder your creative process in any way, or does it like make you like, damn, man, like I just want to make a shoe?
I just want to create.
Yeah. So Phil and I work on completely different hours.
Yeah.
Phil gets up early, works until 5 or 6. I get up, if we're lucky, before noon, you know, but I don't go to bed till 4. you know, and my creative juices don't even get a chance to flow usually until after 7 p.m. or so.
Gotcha.
Because I'm handling business throughout the day.
Yeah.
You know, and then, but yeah, I mean, it's tough, you know. I wouldn't have it any other way, you know.
Yeah. It's like this is what you worked for.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, like you said, mentally, I know it could take a toll from time to
time. It takes a toll. And like, I travel a lot.
Yeah.
You know, that's the downside to having your work at home. It's cool because you can walk to your office. You wake up, you walk to your office.
Right.
You're not even driving anywhere. Like, working from home is awesome. I love it. The downside to it is if I'm at home, I'm working.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
there is no.
You were on the pandemic wave before the pandemic.
Exactly.
Yes. Because, like, the thing is, like, well, I have people all the time that are like, hey, man, when you're free, let's do this, that, and the third. I'm not free.
Not free.
I can tell you right now, I'm not free. I'm not going to be free.
Right.
Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
If you want to do something, tell me. Like you. Hey, this day, this time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
I'm there.
But
Like, if you would have said, hey, man, whenever you're free, let's do it. It ain't going to ever happen. You know? Like,
yeah.
tell me a day and a time, and I'll be there.
Yeah.
You know? Like, unless somebody has that, like, thing to, like, interrupt me and say, this is where you need to be at what time.
Right.
You know, then I'm just going to keep working. So in order for me to, like, not work and, like, get away, I physically have to get away.
Gotcha.
You know, like, I have to leave town.
Yeah.
You know?
does that affect you mentally as far as like?
Yeah. I get overloaded and overwhelmed, you know,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'm just like, you know, I'll look at Phil and I'll be like, dude, I'm cutting out at like 4 today. Let's pull out that bourbon and a cigar and
Hell yeah.
head down to the garage, dude. Yeah. But then I'll burn out of that garage and you'll go to bed at 10 and I'm like, all right, I'm back to work.
For sure.
You know?
It's just that mental break for a minute. Sometimes that we all need. We all need to reset every now and
That's true, man. Because it could be an hour or two, however long length of time, but it's almost like a reset.
It's
right?
a reset.
I'm back. I'm good. Let's get it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's necessary.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it'll strike at the most random time, you know? Like,
yeah.
But I'm just like, all right, I gotta go. I need a cigar, need a little drink.
For sure.
And just some fresh air, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah.
For sure.
I bought a truck recently too that's been like
Oh, did you?
69 C10. Airbagged.
Airbagged?
Slammed.
Oh.
Original 6-cylinder with the 3 on the tree.
What?
It's pretty. Man. It's pretty.
What'd you name her?
I haven't had a name yet.
Nah?
Yeah, so she's like baby blue.
Okay.
So, and I don't know if it's a he or she yet either.
Still trying to figure that out.
I'm still trying to figure that out. So I have two that I've thought about. So she's baby blue, like Carolina blue almost.
Yeah.
And white steel rims with the original hubcaps.
Oh, nice.
And so it's kind of like Betty Rubble.
Okay.
So Betty, you know, from Betty Rubble from
yes.
Same color dress with the pearls.
With the pearls.
Yeah.
You sold me on Betty. I'll be honest with you. You sold me on Betty.
The thing is, if you like Google like most common truck name or something, or car name, I'm gonna call her Betty. You know, like for whatever reason, that's like so. There's so many Bettys out there already.
Gotcha.
The other name, and this one, somebody just randomly sent me. I didn't think of it.
What's that?
Somebody randomly sent it to me. Said you should call your truck Joseph Polanski.
I mean,
do y'all know what that's from?
Sir, yes, sir. Blue, you're my boy.
You're my boy, Blue.
Okay, gotcha. Because I was like, the name sounds. Just hearing the name alone, it made me laugh. I'm like, Joseph Polanski is hilarious. Like it's a hilarious name.
Yeah.
But from old school, now it makes sense.
Joseph Blue Polanski.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm taking Joe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Joseph.
I'm pulling up with Joe.
Joseph Blue Polanski.
I like it.
Yeah, I like that.
But you can't go wrong with Betty neither. But like, it's tough.
Oh no, man.
That's a tough call.
You can yell at your truck. You're my boy, Blue.
So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I was thinking. I don't know. We'll see. But those are the two that I'm close on right now. So unless something else comes up, I might go with one of those.
Yeah, for sure. See. Dope. So also, I kind of want to get into your sneaker history too. I mean, like you said, your brother was heavy into shoes, and you saw what he had. And it's one thing to just cop shoes and customize yourself, but it's another thing to you also be a sneaker collector.
Yeah.
And from what Question told me, what up, Question? What up, Q? You have an extensive collection, but what was the first shoe that made you be like, all right, I'm not even gonna like wear these, but I'm gonna just collect them? Or maybe you wear your shoes. I know I'm a collector myself, and I wear all mine. I'm lying. There is one pair that I haven't wore yet, and it's the What the Kobe undefeated pack.
Oh wow, yeah.
I have those, and
special.
And I haven't broken those out yet, and I don't plan on wearing them either.
So,
I might one day, but
when I started making extra money and stuff like that to buy shoes,
right?
First of all, it was before the resale era.
Yeah,
and buying a $300 pair of shoes was like
insane.
Yeah,
I feel you.
Like
this shit don't make no sense to me, bro.
We're gonna get into that in a minute.
So yeah, like it got to the point where like I was buying, first few years I was really into vintage.
Okay.
So I was on eBay scouring, trying to find stuff from the 90s.
Yeah.
Which back then would still be rockable. Now the anything with like a foam or like a polyurethane midsole just crumbles.
Right.
I was buying a lot of just like older stuff, and I was getting a lot back then. Again, there weren't collectors like there are now.
Right.
It wasn't collecting sneakers was like, I got a room full of shoes back here.
Right.
Kind of weird, It wasn't like it wasn't an everyday thing like it is now. It was really underground,
right?
And so a lot of the shoes that I was collecting were vintage, and which back then I was getting a lot of that stuff for cheap, and now, and then also a lot of Air Max. I started realizing like, hey man, there's shoes that weren't released in the United States that I can get. There's shoes that were only released at certain stores, and stuff like that, or collaboration with whatever.
Yeah.
And when I started realizing that's when I started hunting that stuff. It's always that search to have something nobody else has.
Right.
And like getting like that Kobe you have.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of people have that shoe, but there's how many? They probably made 10,000 of them.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Do we know a lot of people in the city with them? No.
No.
There's 10,000 pairs of them. Like, so then it got to the point where I was like, I want to find the shit where there's like 30 pairs.
Gotcha.
Or 3 pairs.
Right.
And that's when I really started the like really deep, like heavy collecting. And it's like trying to find samples or player exclusives or like super rare pairs, and not buying 10 $80 pairs, buy one $800 pair.
Right.
And like know like, hey, I'm the only guy in the southern United States that has this,
Which is crazy to
like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And that also big influence on me was JD. Because when I met JD, so shout out to JD.
Shout out JD, man. For sure if you're watching. What's up?
When I met JD, it was on a Facebook group, a sneaker Facebook group. San Antonio Sneaker Group or whatever.
Right.
Or Sneaker Crew. SASC is what it was called. And I just saw this dude post a Paris Dunk.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the fuck is in San Antonio that I don't know that has a Paris Dunk?
Right.
And at that time, that shoe was like a $1,200 shoe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wrote to the guy that ran it. I was like, you know this dude? And he was like, yeah. I was like, man, let's meet up. Let's go get some Chinese food or something.
Right.
So I met up with him at a Chinese food restaurant. And like, I'm looking around, there's a bunch of people at the table. And I'm like, which one of you is JD?
Yeah.
And he like quietly was like me. I was like, you know how to spend your money. He was already he was from Houston, had just freshly moved to San Antonio, and he was buying rare shoes, like rare shoes, and spending good money. So like, there was nothing GR.
Right.
You know, all that money that you'd spend buying this shoe and this shoe and this shoe and this shoe and this shoe. No, just buy this.
Right.
You know, that Paris, you go to StockX, that Paris is $100,000 shoe right now.
Wow.
You know, but
it's crazy.
Yeah, $100,000. You know,
that is insane. And here I am thinking, you know, I've known JD for the infamous Eminem 4.
Yeah. So the Eminem 4 came from, that Paris is part of the city pack of dunks. They did a Paris, a London, a Tokyo, and a New York. New York was the staple pigeon.
Right.
Pigeon dunk.
Pigeon dunk, right.
He had all 4. And he traded at that time, this was a great trade. He traded all 4 for an Eminem 4. Because the Eminem 4 was going for like $40,000 at the time.
Right.
And I think he even wore it the weekend his dad passed.
Gotcha.
And like that, so that's like his like most special shoe, you know. Has blue laces in them for colon cancer awareness and everything now. So like that's a super special shoe for him. My dad and his dad both passed within a year of each other of colon cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was the other thing I was going to say. In 2012 is when I quit when my dad was diagnosed with colon cancer. He passed in 2014. But he was the one that saw, like, you know, saw me doing the shoes for LeBron. And then he was like, we got to get you out of this apartment. You know, he bought me a house that I could have, like, a big office in and all that. All before he passed.
Wow.
Yeah. So, like, he really saw.
He believed in you.
He saw
the potential.
He saw it.
For sure. That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's dope.
We often talk about, you know, parents who, you know, it's almost like, not to say they don't support their kids, but by like not acknowledging, right, or making a big fuss about what they're doing, it's kind of like the same thing as not supporting.
But where do you draw the line? Like, how do you know what is and what isn't?
Right.
You know, a good like path. You know, like any other parent could have seen what I'm doing as like, dude, you're wasting your time.
What you're doing is a hobby or something.
It's a hobby.
Yeah.
I don't know, especially because back then it's not like now. If I was starting out now, as popular as sneaker culture is, if I was starting out now, I don't know if I'd make it.
Yeah.
Because when I started, I was like one of like 8 known customizers.
Right.
You know, like there was plenty more, but like guys on the map were
Mosh for sure.
Shoe Surgeon.
Yes.
Meth Amphibian out of Singapore. Sabotage is the godfather of customizing out of Singapore. And then Lazy was in Reno. He now lives in Singapore.
Yeah.
And then C2 Customs out of Chicago. He was like 14 doing shoes for LeBron. He's now a designer at Adidas. And then there was a guy named Diversitile. I can't remember where he was from, but he was dope with it. And then there was a guy, Nash Money in London. And then there was me. It was like that were like got established, you know?
Yeah.
There's probably a couple others, but those are like the main ones. Now there's probably 10 kids within my gated neighborhood that call themselves customers.
Right.
You know?
Do you feel the game got muddied up? Like,
it got way muddy. Like, you got to really be doing some crazy stuff to stand out.
Exactly.
You know? And like, that's why I say now I don't know if I'd make it, you know, because like if I didn't already have this establishment, you know, of all these years and all this, like, man, it'd be tough.
It's crazy how much social media played a part in all this, especially, you know what I mean? Because you can just get a camera out and be like, hey, look at my stuff.
I'm getting left behind. If you think about it, like I'm established, I'm doing fine, but like in social media terms, I'm old school, dude. It's hard for me to adapt with it. And like doing all the videos and the TikToks and like I'm trying my damnedest.
Yeah.
And it's hard, man. You know, if I was a chick, you know,
in the bikini wearing some Jordan
clapping.
1s and straight up. Exactly. Straight up.
Yeah. But it is what it is. We're still doing great.
Now we talk about the resale prices. When I was telling you off air with Skrills and I going to the Austin Sneaker Summit, And I could tell the look on my man's face, man. He was
disgusted.
Like it was almost like, yo, I'm ready to leave. Well,
I wasn't that. I wasn't mad. Let me rephrase. It was more of just curious, right? Because I'm no like economic expert, but these shoes, if you were able to get them online or at retail, are like north of $100. Mm-hmm. Very few are under. You know, at least the ones that we were seeing.
Yep.
Very few are under $200.
Very few are under 200.
Yeah.
If that, and the prices, and they had so many of the same shoes for the same price.
Yeah.
Like people were gonna come and like
like panda ducks.
They were everywhere.
Right. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know. Like
I don't get it.
I don't. Yeah.
Like that's why I say like that there's people will say they want to get into sneakers for this like individuality, but then they buy the same shoe that everybody else has.
Exactly.
And like
because it's hot, right? Or because it's
And same thing with customs. Like it's so many. That's why everything we do is limited to one of one.
Yeah.
We're not going to duplicate it unless you want it duplicated. Like that customer wants it duplicated, I'll duplicate it. But if I make you a shoe and I get 500 people that DM me wanting the same shoe, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Like my man bought a shoe to have something unique for himself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go turn around and make it for everybody else too.
Right.
Like that defeats the whole point of having something custom.
Custom, exactly.
So yeah, the price points on shoes though, it's determined on by how many were made. Did a Kardashian wear it or not?
Right? Yeah.
It's realistically, like, did Travis wear it? Because
I think that's what we're trying to figure out. What entails? What sets the value of that sneaker? Like, because me personally, I'm on the hunt.
Hype. It's all about.
It's all hype, right?
It's all about hype. It's all about. There's X amount of people that want it.
Yeah.
And there's X amount of people that know that they could profit from it. And
So,
the people that are profiting from it are way hungrier to get it at retail than the people that want to wear it.
Right.
Because the people that want to wear it are just like, man, if I miss out, I'm going to buy it anyway. So the people that are hungriest are the people that are selling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just one reason. Like there is no one answer.
Yeah.
Like it could be the sentimental thing.
Yeah.
For one, it could be FOMO.
Right.
It could be flexing. You know. It could be, trying to impress. The last thing you're gonna do is impress a girl with some shoes. That's the craziest part about this whole thing. We're all dudes here impressing other dudes.
Facts. Yeah.
Like, does it impress you? Yeah. Yeah.
I read something recently that by 2025, the sneaker market, or what do you call it? The sneaker, that it's estimated to be at around like $108 billion industry.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of quiche.
Yeah. So I guess my question to you, Dank, is like,
all that I see with that is they're more for the picking.
Where? Okay.
That's just.
So you don't see a bubble or anything, slowing down?
I'm a part of that, and I'm going to make that bitch grow.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Now, are you going to make it grow more from a financial perspective or more of a creative perspective? Both. Or is it the same? Yeah.
Both. Yeah, I got to retire.
I hear you.
So like we got a lot of things besides just custom shoes that we're working on to get to that point.
Yeah.
Feel like it's great to see like, I'm paying my bills, and all that. But like it's good to see like my boys underneath me too. Like Phil buying a new truck. He's engaged, they're looking for a house, like that kind of stuff is like, our creations have done that. Like that's crazy to me to think about that. Like I can't imagine like how Cam, with this whole facility,
right?
All the people underneath him, and like all that. Like it must. It's not only feels good, but it's also very nerve wracking because then at the same point, that at least for me, I know that even if I have nothing left in my bank account, they're going to get paid. I'll find a fucking way, but I don't want to feel that way. And I want them to know that I want to be able to make money in my sleep at some point. and we're finding ways, you know, to do that. And it's a crazy road that we've gone on with that and the journey.
Yeah.
But long story short, we are going to be coming out with our own shoe, you know, that people can buy from us and not have to wait a year and not have to pay the exorbitant amount. Wow. You know, it'll be our own design.
Is this through one of like the big companies, or is it more of a, like total custom?
Total our own thing, designed from the ground up.
From the ground up.
Is it through San Antonio Shoes?
No.
Okay.
We tried.
Yeah.
Did y'all really?
We tried. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we tried. San Antonio Shoes, believe it or not, is the largest shoe manufacturer in the United States.
That's crazy. I saw that.
Wow.
Yeah,
The largest shoe
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They have the factory on the south side. They have a factory in Laredo, and then they have a huge factory in Mexico.
Okay.
They're doing stuff for NASA. They do stuff for Polo. They do stuff for Nordstrom. They do anybody you can imagine. They're not doing Yeezy.
No, yeah. Okay.
They're not doing Yeezy.
Right.
But they're doing a ton of stuff. They don't need small fries.
Gotcha.
They got bigger fish to fry.
Okay, let me ask you this question first. Do you have an insider in San Antonio Shoes?
Yes.
Okay. Were Yeezy samples made? Because if so, I'm about to call my coworker out for being a liar.
So from what I know, no.
You're a liar.
No, hold on.
Listen,
hold
let me
on.
tell you something. You're a liar.
I heard from somebody recently that there were. So now I'm questioning.
Oh, okay, shoot. I take that back. You may not be a liar.
I heard from somebody outside of SAS that there were, just like I'm hearing it from you.
Yeah.
But I heard it from them that, like, for months before that came out, Kanye had been trying to get San Antonio Shoes to manufacture stuff for a while.
Gotcha.
Then they continued to turn him down. Then the whole, you know, Jewish thing started happening. That was right when all that was going on.
Right.
And they were like, we don't want to have any part of that.
Absolutely not, yeah.
When the owners got, this is from what I heard, when the owners got word that Kanye had sent his people here, they all left to Italy. They were like, well, we're not even going to be in the city. You know?
Oh, he's here with his people? Let's book a flight.
Yeah. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, that's what I heard. That's maybe more stuff happened that they could not tell me. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. But but San Antonio Shoes is a staple to San Antonio.
Absolutely.
Like everybody's, you know, Tia. You know,
it's funny because I always associated San Antonio Shoes with like nurses' shoes.
Yeah, everybody in the world does. They're like, you know, old people shoes.
Yep.
Right.
But like they also make like all the military's like running shoes.
Wow.
Like for the whole military.
Damn.
You know? Like they do tons of different sampling for the military and for like NASA, and like they have this thing, this boot that they showed me. That they have a room where they build these like shoe boot things. These like slide on like, you know, space boots. For NASA that have to completely be in like a clean room, so that the astronauts actually open them in outer space, so they're completely sealed from the point when they're made till they get out of space and they open them.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to San Antonio Shoes, man.
Yeah, whole fact.
That's a big deal. Look at what we
give me
doing
some-
here,
hey,
man.
I'm looking for San Antonio Shoes.
If you go into the store, they actually have some pretty dope models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just everybody is just like how we are, you know. This
Slave to the brand, you know, the Nikes and the Adidas and the Reeboks and all that. Yeah.
I think they even told me, I don't know the exact number, but like their main thing that they sell is sandals. That's what sells the most out of like everything on their online site. Yeah. But if you go to their store, like that's there on the south side, they're actual like, have you ever been in their store?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, she actually took me one time for the first time and get the popcorn and
it's
all that
amazing.
stuff.
It's like a whole country store.
It's a vibe, man.
Yeah,
It's dope.
you spend a whole day there, and then they'll give you the tour. They do tours of the whole manufacturing facility there. You can make a whole day out of it.
I did not
It's
know
awesome.
that. I haven't been there since I was like 10. Like I said, my mom was a cook back in the day, and she would just get those same shoes that the nurses would because they're like comfortable as hell.
Right. That's what I hear.
And that's the last time I went. It's like, man, it's like 96, bro. 7, something like that.
Sure,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
We may have to do our due diligence and pull up, man.
Yeah,
Check some
I'm
stuff
down.
out,
I'm
man.
100%
For sure.
down, for
Yeah.
sure.
And I talked to them. You know, we had as a team we went over there and actually made. They have a model I think that just released called like the 76 or something like that.
Okay.
It's the SAS 76, which I guess was SAS was formed in 76. But they're like, yeah, y'all can come over and make your own, colorways, of the 76. So
Oh, dope.
We went over there and picked, but I think the higher ups got wind of that maybe
Yeah.
because we haven't heard much about it since. But like we all went over, me, Phil, and Roland went over there and made our own. Sat down with all the designers.
That's dope.
Made
That's
our own
dope.
colorways and everything. But I think I think something happened to where they.
Yeah.
And it was all around the time of that Yeezy thing though.
Oh yeah.
So they were like hyper aware of what was going on.
Who was walking in and who?
Yeah.
I can imagine.
But it's still though. I totally rep SAS.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think, I don't want to try to make it a thing, or maybe we should try to make it a thing. I think that the city should get behind.
I think so too, because especially in the next, like by the end of this year,
Yeah.
they're gonna have a whole, because they do not only they make their own uppers, but the soles themselves they make,
Yeah.
which is in shoe manufacturing is a whole nother world.
Right.
And like, it's one thing to make the upper, to form the molds and to make for every size, and all that for all these models is a big ordeal, and they do it all. They have some toolings that are coming out
Yeah.
that are pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I think are dope. Real like, and I don't even know of a shoe that looks like anything like these are coming out.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Which is that is cool, because I've been wanting to jump to a different brand to kind of
Yeah.
like rock a little bit. Like I had my eyes on New Balance, seeing what's going on with with Joe Fresh Goods and all them.
I'm all about that right now.
I'm all you know what I mean. I've been wanting to get a
Joe
pair.
Fresh, Salehi.
Yes,
Salehi Brimber.
yes.
Yeah.
They're doing their thing over at New Balance, and I'm
Yep.
like, I've been wanting to get a new brand to go behind, but I would like to see SAS come up with a design that I can get behind and be like, yo, I want to rep those, especially since they're here in my backyard. You know what I mean?
So I think the big thing that would, say one of the Spurs wore 'em or something like that.
True.
I think it would take that for SAS to get behind marketing somebody like youth wise or whatever, like in the culture.
Right.
We could wear it, but like until somebody like that makes it cool, they're not going to partner with me. They would partner with the Spur, and in order for the youth or anybody else to see that's cool, it's not necessarily going to be us. It's going to be like a
Gotcha.
Spur.
Yeah.
But like, it's funny. I don't have
A small blip.
Yeah, it'd be a blip. And like as big of a fan base as I have, San Antonio doesn't rep that hard for me. I don't understand.
I don't know why either. Yeah, I mean, maybe after this episode. Maybe after this episode they will.
Do y'all feel like that? Do y'all have, when y'all see your demo of like people watching you and on YouTube, like do y'all get location and stuff for it?
Yeah, no, okay. So in that sense, yeah, it's here. It's basically the I-35 corridor.
Okay.
So basically from here up to
Like the Dallas and Fort Worth and
mine's like New York, Chicago, LA, and a little bit of San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, Austin.
Wow.
Yeah. And a lot like UK, Amsterdam.
What would you say, or what would you guess and attribute that to? Like, as far as is it, we're the 8th largest city in the United States, but
I'll say it, man. I don't think we're, as far as this city, when it comes to like the culture. And when I say the culture, I mean hip hop, sneaker, whatever you tie that into.
Yeah.
It's not that here.
Yeah.
Versus the New York, Chicago, like you're saying, LA and all them.
It's not even Houston. It's not even Austin. It's not even Dallas.
Wow.
Level. I don't know.
So you would say the sneaker culture here is not as advanced or progressed.
I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. It's just not as big. It's not as big.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, it's not as large. Big. We're still that small town flair, even though we're the 8th largest. We're still small town flair.
I always say the small big city,
but
man.
that's what I love about San Antonio too.
That does make us unique.
It does. So like
everybody knows everybody. It seems like still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like so. Again, it's not that I'm talking mess about San Antonio because I feel like that San Antonio. You would think me being from here that my largest demo would be here. Mm-hmm. It's not. But like
Does that affect you negatively in any way?
No. Well, sometimes it does, but like if I'm promoting something that's local, it might not get as much hits as if I promote something elsewhere.
Gotcha.
From the people here?
Yeah.
Wow. And I guess with your mindset, I think with me, I don't know if it would bother me as much, just because my mindset has always been, I don't want to be a local legend. I want my name to be out there.
True.
Your name is out there, but at the same time, it's like, I do want recognition at the same time that I'm from here, and people are like, "Yo, that's our guy." It's a city I love that I'm born in. Born and raised.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Seen it grow.
Yeah.
And as it's still growing, you know what I mean? I'm going to be able to tell my kids like, "Yo, 35 has been being in construction for 40 years since I've been a kid."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? But like I said, I still want to progress out there and get my name out there. But at the same time, like, this is my backyard.
Yeah.
This is home for me.
Yeah.
And I would love for the people that I've grown up with to be like, that's our guy. You know
I'd just
what I mean?
love to be able to do bigger things here.
Yes.
And I feel like we can't all the time. We can't, unless we're working with the Spurs or somebody like that, we can't always do bigger things.
Sure.
In the fashion that I envision it. You know? But we'll find a way.
We'll get it. Yeah, we'll find a way. We'll get
find a
there.
way.
That's I mean, and that's what this platform is. You know what I mean? Have these discussions.
But
I
will say though that you know, from your inception of like 2012-ish, right? Like up until now, like there's been a very big growth in a mind state that's no longer, sure, we're small town, but it's like it's growing both physically and also mentally, right? Because like even the music scene, I don't know how much you follow the music scene, but the music scene is not what it was back then.
Yeah.
You know, the music now is sounding like mainstream music. Or you know, or whatever it is. Not now, of course, you got the backpackers and this like, take me back. But it's like we're finally coming around to catching up. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, the city was very, like you say, classic.
Yes.
You know, it was a lot of
great term.
A lot of, you know, if you don't sound like Mobb Deep, then it's not gonna, why even do it?
Right.
You know, kind of thing.
For sure.
You know, and that has its place, you know, but like that's not what's popular right now. Like that's not, you know, if you're trying to be a rapper and make a career out of rapping, sounding like somebody from the 90s is probably not going to get you there.
Right.
As dope as you are, as dope as it is, as dope as the old guys love it, that's not what's going to put money in your pocket.
Right.
You know.
You got to be innovative.
You got to mumble a little bit.
Turn that auto-tune up a little bit, my boy.
Turn that auto-tune on, you know what I mean? Carry them notes a little. Start some melodies. But yeah, man, that's crazy. So what's going on as far as the future plans for DANK&Co, man?
So we like I said, we're working on our own silhouette right now.
Real quick before you continue, what's the silhouette look like? Is it going to be a runner?
It's a runner. It's a runner. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes. I'm sorry.
It's very.
Is it wide?
That's a big question.
I have wide feet.
I have wide feet too. Squirrels has wide feet.
Yeah.
You got to look out for the wide footers.
Yeah. So we're in the developmental stages trying to figure all that out.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah. But we're on our fourth sample, and from the looks of it, it's looking good. You know,
Dope.
And our fifth sample is going to be coming in, just has minor tune-ups to it. And then from there, we'll get a sample of the first colorway, and then we can release it. Now, this is going to be, I don't know if you're familiar with Mosh.
Yes.
Now he's doing his shoes.
Right.
We're doing the exact same thing, exact same people, everything behind his shoe or who's doing mine. So it's going to be a pre-sale. So we'll make a sample, we'll seed, you know, make 50 pairs for seeding that'll go to, you know, like Bun B and Trinidad and, you know, Wale and Bert, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Celebrities, athletes, stuff like that I'm close with that can help really like push the brand.
Yeah.
And then we'll drop it for, you know, a week or so, let it be for sale on the site, and however many sell is what we'll make.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't know at all how to judge that. I've never done anything like this before. Everything I make, you tell me what to make.
Right.
I just expand on that But like with this, is like I'm putting myself out there with hopes that people like it and will think it's dope and want it. And the cool thing about it is it'll finally give somebody a chance to own something from us that you're not having to wait a year for.
Right.
You might have to wait, 6 weeks for or something like that, for production times. Once we cut it off, however many is made is what or how many cells is what we'll make.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how to judge like if 20 pairs are going to sell.
Yeah.
Or 250 pairs are going to sell.
Right.
Or 2,000 pairs are going to sell. I have no idea.
So let me ask you another question too. So when it comes to price point, because that's usually kind of important when it comes to sneakers and everything. Because I know when materials is everything. Yeah,
materials is big, especially being a customizer, dealing with all that. I can't, I'm going to take care of that for sure. I'm doing this I'm looking at a big picture. I'm not looking at trying to make a big buck. If I don't turn a profit in the first 2 or 3 years of doing this, I'm cool with that. Like, I need to get it established.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And having a $300 price point isn't going to establish how I want to be established.
Gotcha.
So if I can get it around $225, that's my goal. If I can get it under that, I will.
Yeah.
I got to make something. I got to make something enough to put into the
Absolutely.
Like you said, to establish it and keep it going.
And to keep it going.
Keep it going for sure.
But like, if I make more, say I make more on a shoe and I sell 200 pairs at $300, or I sell 600 pair at $225. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be much better.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I think in having that lower price tag will help, will help propel them. And I think that'll, get me to where I need to be.
Yeah.
But this is a journey that I have no experience in.
I'm sure it's exciting. No, it's a little exciting.
It's
overwhelming.
nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's the whole thing. I mean, because it's everything. We're having samples made in Portugal, China. So like certain factories have different minimums.
Yeah,
we're testing factories right now to see like which ones we want to be at. And like you can have the same shoe getting made in different factories and they come back looking totally different.
Right.
But we might have to use different factories with different releases, though.
For sure.
So we need to get everybody like on the same page.
Right. That's wild. Congrats on that process, man.
For sure.
It's been a long time coming because, like I said, since I was like 5 years old, I've been drawing shoes.
It's almost your dreaming of making.
Yeah. I remember, we did shoes a couple of years back for the execs of Jordan Brand.
Yeah.
And we did, it was an on-site thing that we did at Nike at the headquarters in Beaverton.
Right.
So like to walk on that campus.
I remember seeing that on the clip. Yeah.
To walk, like just to like pull in, seeing like, knowing that like when I was a kid, mom was sending stuff here,
Right.
Like, and here I am, like wild, like crazy,
Wow.
I don't want to go back. I want to go back. But I don't want to go back just to go back. Like I want to go back with reason. Right?
Yeah.
Like the campus is open. You're in Beaverton, you can walk into the campus.
Yeah.
You can't walk into the buildings.
Sure.
You can walk into the campus. I want to go there again with purpose.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm not going to go there again just to visit.
Gotcha.
Right.
I want to go there again.
To be invited in one of those rooms.
Invited to be there, like I did last time. That's.
But Kawhi Leonard, I heard that you have a Jordan that while he was with the Spurs, or did a Jordan rather, that had never either been seen or was exclusive.
Way more extensive than that.
Okay.
You want to talk about it?
So when he was with Jordan Brand, when he was with the Spurs,
Right.
The first thing he ever had me do for him was restore some of his shoes that he wore in college.
Oh, wow.
And we met behind a Cane's.
Shout out
Stone
Cane's.
Oak.
Worst fries ever.
In Stone Oak. And he pulled up in his Porsche, like the long station wagon Porsche.
Panamera, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is right when everybody was talking about him only having this GMC Suburban from 94.
Right.
Nah, he pulled up in the Panamera.
Yeah.
He had his cousins with him. He gave me the shoes and was like, yeah, just, I heard you're the man for restorations. Just I was like, yeah, I got it. I'll make them street legal for you again. You know, like all this, you know.
Right.
And I was like, do you want me to do anything custom to them? He's like, no, just restore them, you know. After I finished restoring them, on the insoles, the Jumpman logos had been worn away.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we recreate those out of vinyl and heat press new Jumpman logos.
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I'm just going to, they're just insoles.
Right.
I'm going to put the claw logo on the insole. It's on the insoles. So I did it. And then I met up with him at a friend's house or his friend's apartment. And I remember pulling in and I see him all the way down the apartment.
Yeah.
He's on a hoverboard. On one of those, like, and he's just zooming around, on this hoverboard around this apartment complex parking lot. And I pull up, and before I'm even in park and look up, he's like on the window, knocking on the window. He's cheesing, big old grin.
Yeah.
He's just like,
can't wait.
Yeah, he's ready.
Yeah.
And so I pull him out and I show him to him. And he's like, just looking at him like, man, like these look great, like they're going on the shelf or whatever.
Right.
It's his college kicks. And it was 3 pairs. And then I end up, I'm like, look at the insole. And he looks at the insole and he's like, oh. He's like, I was like, you said no custom, but I had to do a little.
Right.
So he's like, oh, I love it. Like, he was like, he was excited.
That's dope, man.
And then after that, he kept calling me for things, wanting different things. And 29 he started with, then the 30, 31 was big for him.
Right.
And 32 was big for him. Mm-hmm. So every time I would see him to do work for him, he would give me shoes.
Dope.
Player exclusives.
Yeah.
So I didn't ever have any 30s, but I had 29 lows. And they all had like his claw. Real big on them. All unreleased colorways with his logo. The 31s, he gave me quite a bit of, and 32s, he gave me quite a bit of.
Yeah.
When the 32s came out, and he didn't like how small the logo was on the tongue, his claw logo. So I think he gave me a case of them, which was a dozen pairs.
Wow.
And was like, can you just take them all off and recreate the logo, but bigger?
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I could do that. So I cut all these plastic claw logos off all these Jordan 32 tongues.
Yeah.
I still have a bag full.
That's crazy.
I probably did 100 for them.
Wow.
Like a whole bag full of them. I went and had my local embroidery shop just embroider, basically make a bunch of patches that I'd glue and then sew them to the tongue. So if you see him in 32s, some pictures you'll see him on court in 32s with the little logo, but if you see the big logo, that's
you.
I touched.
That's me.
And like you'll see him pop up on eBay, like every now and you'll see those pop up on eBay. But he ended up giving me, I ended up with a total of 17 of those custom pairs of shoes.
Yeah.
And when he left, I was like, man, he's dead to me. I was like,
yeah. It's like, and I gotta imagine as a fan of the Spurs and all that, and you've done work for these people, and then they end up, especially how Kawhi went out and most recently DeJounte went out. It's like, I did work for you, dog, and you're gonna do this to me?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I can imagine.
So
that sucks.
I had these 17 pairs of shoes, and then I'm like, man, I just sat on them for a while. Yeah. And then actually a gentleman named Joaquin, he actually he runs my Facebook page, my Twitter, and all that. Yeah. Like he's a size 14. He was Kawhi's size, and he always wanted him. He was going overseas and wasn't going to take his car with him. Ended up trading the 17 pairs of Kawhis to him for an Audi A7.
Wow.
Car.
Wow. What a trade.
Yeah. Black, dope car.
Yeah.
But he was overseas and stuff, so he didn't bother doing, he was going to get the shoes when he came back. Basically, I have this car that I was driving for a while, and I loved it. It was just an extra vehicle, and it was great. And, but I remember the AC went out on it.
Oh.
So I hit him up. I'm like, dude, the AC went out on the car.
Yeah.
You know? And he's like, oh, take it up to, I think it was North Park out by the Dominion, the
Audi dealership.
The Audi dealership.
Yeah.
He's like, take it out there, talk to so-and-so. He'll take care of it. Just drop it off. I wake up to a phone call from the dealership.
Oh, God.
And they said, yeah, that hail we had last night took out every vehicle.
Yo.
And I'm like, you're kidding. We're not going to work on it. You know, like, it's in bad shape. Jeez. I get there and the back window's knocked out of it.
Oh, man.
It's dents. The entire thing's covered in dents.
Yeah.
Brought it home and I called him. He was in Japan at the time.
Yeah.
Called him. I had to give him the bad news. You know,
yeah.
I ended up not getting the car. So now I'm sitting back with these 17 pairs of shoes.
Yeah.
That was right about the time. Do y'all remember when he shot that 3-point shot in the corner?
The crouch?
In the crouch?
That was Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah. Toronto, Kawhi. Yeah.
That happened. I hit up a buddy that also collects PEs. And his name is Rich Townsend. I hit him up. I was like, you know anybody interested in Kawhi PEs? Now's a good time for me to like off these things.
Right.
Without going crazy. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, man. He told a couple buddies. They hit me up. Ended up being a doctor from China. Hit me up. And I had to make a video of me like showing them all, you know, and my face and everything and talking to him. I sent that and he PayPal'd $22,000 over to me.
Wow.
And then, hey man, let me go buy some shoes.
and then
crazy.
His I didn't even have to ship him to China. His cousin was a doctor in Oklahoma. And he sent a label to me, slapped it on there, and it went to his cousin in Oklahoma. Yeah. And I don't know what happened after that. But I didn't have to ship them. I just put them in a box, slapped the label on it.
And these were 17 pairs of
all different
sizes?
No, all size 14.
Size 14.
Oh, for him.
Kawhi, Jordan.
They were Kawhi
players made for him.
Made for him only. No, the colorways, like they're not even on sale. Nothing. These were all custom for Kawhi.
Black History Month in there. There was like black and gold.
Yikes.
There was a lot of crazy shit in there. Most of it black, white, silver.
Yeah,
because of Spurs.
Right. You didn't keep one? You keep one?
I should have. I wish I
That's
did.
good. You don't need that.
I wish I did. I wish I did because, like, now those shoes are probably worth triple.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, whatever 22 divided by 17, you know, like, that's not that. For you, you'd say that's a pricey shoe. Yeah. Me, on my end, I'm like, man, he got a steal. You know? Like, looking at it now.
Yeah.
Because he could have probably, like, offed them individually at whatever price point.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Dang. Like, if I look at it now, like, I bet I could have sold that lot for like 45 now.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they were like a few of them were game worn. The rest were brand new. Wow. You know, like a very few of them were game worn.
Yeah.
You know, and the rest were brand new. And the ones that the 32s that I had were unaltered. So remember, I altered most of his 32s, but the big claws on them, the ones that I had, I didn't alter them. I left them alone.
Yeah. So I can imagine you just on eBay shopping one day, you just happen to look at custom shoes, and there'd be some PEs in there that you have touched. How many of those have you came across?
A lot. Because you got to think, like, now you have PJ, you know, PJ Tucker.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like, anything that is like between myself and Vic, and who works for Shoevinator in Phoenix, between us two, anything that goes on court on PJ comes through one of us first to make it street legal. Yeah. Because he wears so much old stuff and old PEs that are falling apart. You know, like stuff that was made for Ray Allen, stuff that was made for D-Wade, stuff that was made for whoever. Back then, you know, so like now, you don't want to play in that. Right. Like it'll fall apart. So he sends it to us to have us completely separate them, clean them, and properly put them back together. Again, we call that making it street legal. But we did one that might, when we finally get a YouTube page going, this will be one of the videos.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Phil videoed each other working on it. So it's horrible footage, but just needs to. Scott's actually editing it.
Okay.
Scott Newen.
Yeah.
Scott's editing it.
What up, Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out Rebel Lion.
He's editing that when he gets done with it. We'll put that on our YouTube. But what it is one of PJ's Yeezys that we restored. So do you know the Grammy Yeezy?
Yes.
The one that went for
1.8 million?
1.8.
1.8.
Yeah. So that sample.
That don't make no goddamn sense.
That's so that sample is the pair that Kanye wore at the Grammys.
Right.
Okay. That sold with the box and everything. That pair sold, and very soon after that, the sample of that pair. So the pair that was before this one,
yeah,
went to PJ. I don't know how much he paid for it.
I don't want to know.
I saw some numbers online that said $250,000.
Yeah.
I don't know if he paid that or not. I'm not saying that he did, but I saw other numbers on there that had the sample before the Grammy sample.
Yeah.
He sent those to us to restore.
Wow.
And yeah, that was crazy.
I can imagine just opening the box and be like, yo.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, because we've had we had Kanye's, there was a collector in, I think he's at Arizona, that was connected with Kanye somehow.
Yeah.
That had a bunch of sample Yeezys, both from Adidas and Nike. And he had one of the original wear test samples of the Red October. And
oh, man.
So on the toe of the Red October, you know.
I remember, yeah, the toe cap. The
suede toe cap.
Right.
The wear test sample did not have that. And it was perforated leather with actual red python around the heel. I don't know if you remember Red October, the diamond.
The diamond cut one. Yeah.
So they did on this one python instead of diamond, and instead of mesh, it was perforated leather and no toe cap.
Wow.
He sent them to me to clean and restore because right here they had duct tape residue from where Kanye put a piece of duct tape on the shoe to show them where he wanted the toe cap to be.
Wow.
And you can see pictures of Kanye wearing them. But anyway, that pair, he sent it to us to restore, and I convinced him not to restore it.
Nah, for sure.
Because he had already taken the tape off. You know, I was like, the tape should have stayed on.
The tape should have stayed on.
He wanted us to clean the residue off, and I was like, dude, the residue is the last bit of it.
Right.
You know, like, this is not, don't think sneaker collecting here.
Right.
Well, I told him, I was like, this is another level. This is like American history.
Absolutely.
You know, this isn't like, StockX, making money at a sneaker store, or sneaker show.
Right.
Flip. This is like fashion history, music history.
Yes.
Like, Americana.
Right.
And it's like, this is one of the hottest shoes ever. This is the sample of it. And it has, there's a provenance. It shows Kanye wearing it and where that tape residue was, or is, where the tape was. That was a sample of the Yeezy one before Yeezy ones had dropped. And he was like, which is very similar. It's funny because Jordan brand, the Jordan 10, when the Jordan 10 came out, it had a toe cap. And Jordan said that it didn't look good when he looked down at his toes. So he removed the toe cap.
Right.
So if you find the samples of the Jordan 10 from back then with the toe cap, you got something cool.
Yeah.
With this one, you find the Red October with no toe cap. Before they decided to add it on.
That's crazy.
Kind of funny how that works. But
one thing that I've kind of and shout out to Soul because Soul Cinematics.
Yeah,
he's the homie, man. So he obviously you obviously are his homie, but he had mentioned one time, man, that like you often work on shoes that like literally are never seen.
Yeah.
Like, how does that?
Yeah.
Does that make you like?
Totally.
Does it make you feel away or?
No, I mean it happens all the time. We work on shoes that we're not allowed to take pictures of, not allowed to show, not allowed to, yeah.
But your phone's full of
some of that, some of that, or
allegedly.
Or I take pictures with my DSLR and I put them on the computer.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Without describing the shoe, obviously, I mean, can you name a person's that you may have worked on that has never seen the light of day, but it's probably the coolest one?
I swear to God, if you say Kobe, I'm gonna pass out.
So I had a pair of Kobe's. Yeah, you're gonna pass out with this. I had a pair of his that I had got. They were given to Kawhi that Kawhi gave to me.
Oh wow!
And I sold them for $700.
Which ones were these?
It was a Kobe 9 High, Laker colorway, unreleased sample.
And these when he messed with his Achilles, right? That's when they like.
That's what the Manny Pacquiao and boxing inspires you.
Kobe had worn them, given them to Kawhi. Kawhi gave them to me. I sold them for $700.
I wear a 13, but I would have, I'm hurt.
Man.
And another time that hurt me too was, especially now, RP Kobe, the GOAT, man.
Yeah.
I think there's a time where you had I think you had a bunch of 13s that you just let fly.
Yeah, that was my buddy Nick. My buddy Nick, big sneaker collector here in town. He's one of those dudes that just buys.
Yeah.
But he liquidated the crap out of his collection.
I know. I was showing my wife. I was like, yo, these look dope, right? No, Marcus.
Yeah. See,
I saw the next story. Babe, these are dope, right?
Brought like a U-Haul trailer over to my house that I helped him sell.
Damn.
And it was a task, bro. Like,
I can imagine.
Doing everything I do already full-time, but like that was a whole another full-time job.
Yeah.
He recently started Plunks Sneaks.
Okay.
Plunks Sneaks on IG. He's had it been going. He's let go probably 2,000 pairs of shoes.
Wow.
All size 13.
Still got some left?
On Instagram. He's got some left.
Hey, yo, Plunks, I'm gonna holler at you in a few, dog.
Yeah,
you know
Plunks,
what I'm saying? If you
Sneaks.
see Mazi's Raw official on IG, pull up in the DMs, yo, just respond.
Yeah.
Just respectfully, bro.
Accept me.
And it's all priced. It's all priced to move. He's not like,
Yeah.
he's not trying to guy out whatever guy.
Yeah.
He's like ready to let it go. You know, he's kind of moving. He's going to keep all his favorites. You know, his real meaningful stuff. But like, that's a lot of the stuff the Question had. You know,
that's right. Yeah, Question was telling me. Yeah, he came and bought a bunch of.
He came over and he was like, this stack. He pulled it. He looked through everyone. He's like, this stack is me. He set it aside, and every time he came over, he'd pull some off, give me some cash, or give it to Nick.
Yeah,
and and a lot of those pairs. I look at him now. He's been wearing recently. He's been beating them up.
Yeah,
he needs to freshen some of them up.
Shoot, man, I need some of my stuff rather restore. Like even these LeBron 8s, man. I got these. What year was this? This is before they retroed them.
The
Sprites. Yeah, man. I forgot what year they originally dropped.
2011.
It was like 2011.
Yeah.
And these are still, but the soles are starting to separate a little bit.
Yeah.
So and I've been wanting to get because they retroed them, and I was like, oh, I get the retro, but I don't know, something about these I may want to keep. Maybe because this is the first start of my collection.
The issue with that is that when they do separate, those won't be able to be reglued. We can take there's certain shoes you can't fix.
Wow.
It just is what it is. You can take the upper and swap it with the new Sprite.
Yeah.
But like once that stuff comes unglued, the Zoom Air unit that's within that will disintegrate with the chemicals and stuff that we have to use to clean everything. With that pair, once it's separated, it's
over.
It's over. Yeah.
GG's. All right.
So you might have to you get the retro and just rock it again, or you can get what a lot of people do with shoes like that is, slap a different sole on it, make it a hybrid.
So swap,
From my understanding, your collection is pretty vast.
It's vast, like we were talking about earlier. The Air Max, so it's really an Air Max. So there's a lot of crazy Air Max. Yeah. There's a lot of crazy vintage stuff.
Yeah.
Q was telling us about this.
Well, yeah. So like the '85 collection is probably
the
Jordan 1s, right?
Jordan 1s. Yeah. So I started very early in my sneaker collecting buying 1985 Jordan 1s, and I'd buy them whenever I could get a deal on them. Didn't really matter what size.
Yeah.
But especially in my size,
for sure.
And I've probably owned right now. I own like 18 pairs, all different, all from '85.
Yeah.
So like all completely different colors.
Wow.
Yeah. So like, and I even have one that's royal but has a white logo. So it's like it was like a wear test sample from '85. Yeah, so there's like a lot of there. I'm only missing 4 colorways to complete the entire 85 set.
And you're still on the hunt for those.
Still on the hunt, but one pair that I've had my eyes set on is an orange metallic in a size 13. I only know maybe like 5 people with orange metallics in the world, and one guy I know that has a size 13, and he doesn't wear a 13, so he just needed me to find another orange metallic in better condition than his, and he would trade me. It's been years and I haven't been able to find another orange metallic.
Yeah.
But now eBay just did this because they got the Air movie out right now. eBay just did this thing in LA called the 1985 shop, and they commissioned a gentleman to put his pair up, his collection up for sale.
Yeah.
And that's the guy that has, so the orange metallic I was looking for is in that collection that's right now on eBay going for $150-something.
Oh my God. Wow. Damn.
So but that collection, and obviously don't say the number. We don't want people to get ideas.
Facts.
But I mean, we talking retirement money, we talking
I wouldn't say retirement.
But more than your average collector.
House. Yeah.
House money.
House money?
Yeah.
Hey,
not for the whole collection.
Oh, not for the whole collection?
What?
Just 85s. Yeah.
Oh shit! So you talking? Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I thought you were talking about your whole collection.
Nah, that's the 85.
Just those 18 pairs.
All right, man.
Yeah.
18 pairs.
18 pairs is a
But they're
house.
pairs that I'd like. I mean, you're not going to buy a house in the Dominion with it, but like
a nice house.
Probably buy the house I'm in with it, you know?
Yeah.
But you got to think though, like the highest I paid for any of those pairs was my black metallic Jordan 1. I paid $1,800 for it. That's the highest I paid for a shoe ever. And I had to go on payments with the guy that I bought it from. Because up until buying my truck, I don't think I ever bought anything that expensive in my life.
You're right.
You know, like I spent $1,800 on that. But I knew that if I didn't buy it then, I would never have it.
Yeah.
Because that shoe, like, I only know like 5 people in the world with it.
That's crazy.
And the one that I have, I only know one guy that has one in better condition. Like this one is, and it's the only size 12 I know.
Wow. Yeah.
So everything I bought was like size 12 and 13. I have one 10.5 in a green metallic that was a gift. But I've never seen a 12 or a 13 for sale.
Yeah.
In them. So like these pairs are like that rare. It's like when people are like, get on StockX, you can find this shoe, this, and the third. Most of everything in my collection, you're not going to just get on StockX and find.
Right.
You're not going to get on eBay and find. Right. You know, like in any size. Damn. Like I said, when I got to the point of collecting where I was like, I want like stuff that nobody has.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, that was made for Jude Law. I want that one. The one that was made for him. You know, not what was at McCreeless.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah, for sure. I hear you. Dang, man.
That's wild, man.
I wish I was papered up like that.
Yeah, but back then you didn't have to be.
Yeah.
You just had to not.
Shoot, man. Listen,
you just had to not buy the 10 other shoes that you wanted that everybody else had. Stack that money, and when something comes up that you really, really want that you know nobody else will have, that's when you buy that. And back then, it was cheap. Like cheap meaning like $200 to $400, which now is like shoes that were $200 to $400 back then you can get for $10,000 now.
Right. That's crazy. You know? See, and I feel so stupid now because the LeBron 9 South Beaches.
Okay. Retro?
The original. The original.
Okay.
When they dropped.
Yeah.
Horror story, mind you.
I remember those were going back then like $850, $900, something like that.
See, so I was at Ingram in line. Mind you, at the time when I hopped in line, I got there, I was about maybe 7th in line.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, these kids out of nowhere from Whataburger just jump up in front of me saying that, yo, we're on a list and we're in the front. I said, no, the fuck you're not. Pardon my language, Mom. Sorry. No, you're not. You know what I'm saying? And then supposedly one dude had the blammer on him. You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right. Mind you, it was one of her homeboys that that she went to school with. You know what I mean? Supposedly he had that thing on him. I'm like, whatever, man. I'm just gonna get these shoes regardless. Long story short, I see a dude maybe about 5'6", walk out that bitch with a size 13 LeBron 9.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I hear the guy size 13 sold out. I'm like, all right. So the dude that's in that had the list, I know he got a 13. I'm busting his head open. In my mind, I'm mad. Yeah. Fast forward, I jump on Flight Club. I see the size 13, $750. I convinced my wife somehow, some way, I don't know to this day, I need these. She let me get them.
Damn.
I spent $750 on some LeBron 9s, man.
I mean,
and it's cool because I had them.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
they were going for more than that later, you know. So like, money comes and goes, bro. Like you make those memories.
It is a memory. Thank you. I just had to convince myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ha. See?
Money comes and goes like that. You know, like you make those memories. You're not gonna take that money with you.
True.
When you're dead and gone.
Yeah.
You know?
That makes sense. Okay.
Like you can leave it to your important people in your life.
For sure.
But I mean, you deserved it. You made it. You deserve to spend
I worked hard. I worked hard for that pair.
Yeah.
I worked hard for that money.
Yeah.
Huh. She's like, whatever. Yeah, no, but yeah, when I got it, I was the happiest person alive. And then of course when I stepped out in the mirror, I was like, oh, the LeBron.
Dude, I remember that was such a hype. Like that and the Grinch.
Yeah.
The Grinch Kobe when that's same year, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Later that year.
That year.
When the Grinch came out, I made that was also really big when the Infrared 90 came out that same year. Right about the same time. They were both big. And I ended up making a Grinch colorway out of an Infrared 90. We called it the Grinch for Red.
Oh man.
That was like one of my first shoes that like popped off.
Yeah.
And Felix from Soul Boutique.
Yeah.
Man, this goes way back. So me and him were doing customs. And me and him made that pair. And his family, his nickname with his family is C. Mm-hmm. And so CEE.
Right.
And this is also right around the time when Banksy was like really like people was just realizing who Banksy was.
Right.
So we took Banksy's logo, changed the B to a D and the SY to a CEE, and we were Danksy.
Yeah, that's hard.
DANK Customs.
That's right. I remember seeing that now. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that was like maybe for like a year we did that.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was dope.
And then he got with Soul Boutique, got real busy with that.
Sure.
And all that, but that was fun. Danksy.
Yeah. That's dope, man. So besides the 85 collection, obviously, is there any other sneaker that's on the hunt that someone may be watching and be like, hey, yo, dang, I got those for you?
Salehi's New Balance. I can't remember the model. 993, I think. No, not 993. Whatever that newest model is, that like peach looking one.
Right.
That one I want. And I want the pink Joe Fresh Goods.
Those are hard. I know which one. I can't think of the model number, but I know which one.
I think that one's a 993.
Yeah.
And then I just got really into rocking the New Balance stuff lately.
I've been meaning to get tapped in with the New Balance stuff. I need to check it out.
I got the Emilion Door. I don't even know how to say it.
Yeah.
That 993 is on the way. Dude, Mischief. You following Mischief?
Their sneaker game, like their customers and stuff that they're doing is nuts.
It's crazy. Like they're doing everything you would think would flop.
But they're moving. The big red boot right now is ridiculous.
Yeah. I saw somebody today, they customized one to make it look like a Timberland. It looked crazy.
Yo.
That's hard. Now I gotta see it.
It looked crazy.
I want to see it.
It looked nuts.
Because I saw that they made the is it the backward shoe that they dropped recently?
The backward shoe, yeah. Who's rocking it on court recently?
Donald Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. They're wilding.
They're just taking it and rolling it with it too.
For sure.
You know?
So one final question. 12-year-old Dank, designer shoes, you jump in the time machine, you see him what advice would you give them?
Oh, shit. Probably wouldn't have anything to do with this and sneakers. I think that course went its route the way it needed to.
Yeah.
I think I would have looked back and took care of my body a little better, health-wise, you know.
Yeah.
Getting old quick, man.
It sucks.
You know, you don't know any old fat people. Think about it, dude. Like, you know old fat people? I don't know old fat people. I got to do something about that.
Gotcha.
You know? Like, so every 12-year-old kid thinks they know it all. What are you going to tell a 12-year-old kid?
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? You got to really be somebody to have a 12-year-old kid listen to you.
Well, I mean, you are somebody. Let's be real out here. Like,
Facts.
you are definitely somebody, and I'm sure you would definitely show them, like, yo, this is what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Stay on it. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't believe it. I would not believe it.
You lying.
You lying.
Or he would have told you, like, see, now I'd have done it like this.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd have done it differently, right? I'd have made that shoe blue.
When Gary Vee says to get on TikTok, get the fuck on TikTok. He said this like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
TikTok's gonna be the big thing. Instagram's gonna start phasing out and doing what TikTok is doing. Like, this is right when TikTok showed up. Like, I didn't even know what it was. And he's like, get on it, you know? Listen to him.
Listen to Gary
He
Vee.
knew.
Yeah.
He knew.
Sounds like he listened to Gary Vee.
Yeah. Gary Vee has that's another story real quick we'll get into.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
We were doing this big job in New York for Adidas for the US Open and Billie Jean King.
Right.
And we were shooting a commercial out there for Billie Jean King. And the guy that was creating the commercial, the producer for a marketing company that we were working with, he was like, we took a break and he came out and he's like, man, you made shoes for like everybody. Like, who would you want to make shoes for? Like, right now. And without question, I go, Gary Vee. Because Gary Vee was a huge, for me, a couple years ago, pivotal in my like career in the shed the people that are not like really fucking with you. If they're negative, bringing you down in any way, if you're struggling just to keep them, you know, happy, you know, like if they're not bringing something to the table that's positive, if it's more negative than it is positive and you obviously see it, then you obviously need to shed them from your life.
Right.
That really struck a chord with me. And I saw a lot of growth with that. And so when I started realizing I was really into, you know, listening to his stuff, still do. But I was like, I want to do shoes for Gary Vee.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, my fiance is his personal assistant. I was like,
look at that. Look.
We're in Brooklyn and their office is in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I'll send her a text right now. We'll get this organized. Within 2 weeks, I was like back in New York, sitting in Gary Vee's office.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Like, just
Wow.
like that. You never know.
You never know. Nah, straight up.
That's wild.
That's
You
wild,
just never
man.
know, like who you're talking to, and
The one thing I will say, Dank, just from speaking with you, which again, man, thank you for coming.
Yes,
by.
for sure, guys. I appreciate
I'm
it.
sure, man, we're gonna do this again at
Yeah,
some point.
Yeah,
fuck
man.
yeah. Dude, we need to get like me and Norm and JD on here.
Oh, come on, man. Nah. Norm, JD, if y'all watching,
That would be hilarious.
I think we even said, right, like we thought one of them would have put up at least Norm. You
Yeah.
know, but-
Right, for sure.
but yeah, we could definitely set that up, man. But
Yes.
the one thing that I'm getting from you, man, is like, it's just that, man, like you're not lucky. You're just always ready, right?
Yeah, I do feel lucky though. But yeah.
But you may like,
Yeah.
I think you may unknowingly be putting things in the universe, right?
Yeah,
And-
I definitely do that.
Right?
I
And
definitely do that.
whether you are saying it's gonna happen or whether you just think it and like forget about it, right? But regardless, it just seems like you're putting things out and it's coming back, and when it does, you like are subconsciously ready.
you're
Yeah,
ready for it.
I can agree with that.
Fire,
I can agree with that.
fire, man.
Yeah,
Hard.
100%.
And that's dope. It's dope to see.
Yeah,
And just know, like Screws, myself, we're watching and we're rooting for you, dog.
And inspired, man.
Inspired. Like the
means a
inspiration
lot.
is at an all-time high, man. And we appreciate you sharing your story because
that means a lot.
Yeah.
Because you're definitely one of the top creators out here in my mind. You know what I mean?
Thank you, man.
And for sure. And yeah, we definitely look forward to maybe getting the Mazi's World sneaker done.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. Yes. Just buy the shoe. I'll make it happen.
Yeah. So if they want to follow you on social media, hit you up for custom work done, or where can they hit you up at?
Yeah, JWD. Just type that in. It'll come up, the pink icon. Yeah. It's JW Danklefs. I'm sure it'll be spelled out right here or something.
For sure.
Yeah, but yeah.
Cool. At Mazi's World Official on IG and Twitch as well. Skrills, where can they find you at?
Find me at Sass.
Yeah.
Never been. Oh, I have been not in a while, but I'm going to go check it out.
Yeah.
Definitely it's still sort of popcorn and stuff there?
Popcorn, fudge, all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
Oh, we in there.
Yeah.
We in there looking at the new models, you know what I'm saying? See if we can come up with some sneakers to rock.
Definitely.
But Jake, man, appreciate you coming through, chopping it up with us. This is long overdue. And the next time, Norm, JD, all three of y'all want to pull up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the squad. And it'll be a squad cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Crew Fresh Clothing, crewfreshclothingco.com. Be sure to copy Crew Fresh Clothing gear. Davies Entertainment as well to copy Mazi's World merch as well. And be sure to like, share, subscribe, and thank y'all for tuning in each and every Monday. Your boy Mazi, Skrills, Jake, Lambo on the cut. We appreciate y'all. We'll holler at y'all soon. Peace.
Maserati. So focused, I just need some meaning to my name. Plus, I'm cheating with these codes. If you thinking it's a game, that's real talk.